Inside the NBA, live from Dallas, Texas, side of the NBA All-Star Weekend is presented by Hyundai. With the styling you'd expect from a high-end SUV at a price you wouldn't expect to pay for one. The all-new Tucson from Hyundai.
Well, this was an All-Star Weekend we will never forget. From record snowfall on Thursday to a record crowd of more than 108,000 for the 59th All-Star Game here on TNT. What a great shot of Cowboys Stadium in Arlington, Texas, as we welcome you back to Inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai.
I'm not going to miss that train.
And did you know that Right Guard is the official deodorant of the NBA?
I did.
Well, Right Guard is, and they have a new product called Total Defense 5, which you should try, Charles. For more, visit rightguard.com.
Is that a personal
to receive a special offer and sign up to learn more about Right Guard's upcoming NBA playoff promotion. And
wow,
I'm on a roll. I'm on a roll.
Ernie's turned mean.
No, that was not mean at all. I only do that with my friends. Okay, we've had this whole all-decade thing going on for weeks and weeks. And we've had you guys vote online. We revealed the winners in all those different categories in our show on Saturday, but left one category still to go to be announced tonight, and that is the Player of the Decade. And the announcers at TNT and NBA TV, we filled out a ballot, had 12 players on it, ranked them 1 through 6. And then we gave you that ballot and let you decide of those 6 who was the Player of the Decade. Are we ready to reveal the results? No drum roll necessary because we don't have one. And here it is, the Player of the Decade as voted on by you, the fans at NBA.com. Kobe Bryant.
Are you kidding?
In a runaway 54%. Then LeBron James.
Ernie.
Then Shaquille O'Neal. Let's just run through these and then I'll let you vent, which you are very good at. Tim Duncan finishing 4th, and then Steve Nash, and then Kevin Garnett.
Wow.
Tim Duncan 4th in that. Okay, Charles, you can have the floor first.
Well, first of all, that just clearly shows the fans don't know anything. Shaquille O'Neal and Tim Duncan are the 2 players of the decade.
Kobe Bryant in the middle of the decade to the end, because from the middle of the decade to the end, he probably was.
But when you take the entire 10 years, and he wasn't there for the entire 10 years, and that's where the problem comes up.
No, I agree, but he was been dominant the last 4 or 5 years, and I think that's what fans remember more. And in sports, you have a short memory. I mean, everybody forgets how dominant Shaq was. I played against Shaq my last year in the league. When he stepped on the court and started walking around, I looked at him and said, it's about time for me to retire. I mean, that guy was huge. And I mean, he's so dominant. And I thought that he anchored the Lakers team, and you made a good point. He anchored that Miami team that probably you thought, when they're down 2-0, who said they're going to come back and win that series against Dallas?
Well, they do have a short memory because somebody asked me, thought you was Robert Parrish. I was like, no, somebody I was walking with him today, and somebody thought I was Robert Parrish. I know they got a short memory.
we start calling him Chief. So who is? Just give me. I know it's a very tough thing, but who is your Player of the Decade?
Shaquille O'Neal.
Your Player of the Decade.
Shaq is the Player of the Decade.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq.
I had Tim Duncan.
And I agree. It's either A or B.
Yeah,
I agree.
But you got to remember too, Shaq changed that power from the West to the East, though. Shaq had the West, and the West was going, and you kept saying the West is so much stronger than the East. When he went over to the East, he brought that championship there, and I just see him doing it on both sides, and it's hard between him and Tim.
When we looked at the 6 that we had the fans vote for, Allen Iverson was not on that list. Is he not one of the top 6 players of the last decade?
First of all, let me answer that question. Allen Iverson should be on the list before Steve Nash.
Steve Nash won back-to-back MVPs.
Listen, Steve Nash is not as good as Allen Iverson, Ernie.
Well, I would say that Allen Iverson should be on that list. And the person I would take off would be LeBron James, only because he hasn't played the whole decade. He will be the new millennium superstar. He's the new type of superstar. We have not seen a player of his magnitude, his physical strength, his physical attributes, but he is not a Player of the Decade because he wasn't even in this whole decade.
AI is one of the smallest guys with the biggest hearts, and there's no way he can't be on this list. I mean, and you got to remember, that Philadelphia team sucked, and he took them to the championship, along with all the personal things he did as far as records and that. He should definitely be on that list.
Kevin, you can have the final word on this discussion.
KG should have got more than 3%. That's all I'm going to say. He was a very good player.
It's
He's
great.
my guy.
Wait,
yeah.
But you know what, Ernie?
What?
We found some great tape of you at an All-Star game we like to show real quick. One of your first few games. I don't know if we got it right here, but
Hey, Ernie.
Yes.
I asked Kenny this last night. Do you think Gatorade works for guys who suck at basketball?
And what did Kenny say?
Well, I said
It's amazing.
It helps if you're good. It really helps if you're good.
Why does Gatorade only work when you're a great player?
Check out more on what LeBron did. Nice going there, big fella. Now, what was nice tonight, we had some really good access, good mic'd up stuff to hear from All-Star 2010, and give a listen.